Well, the ACDP has raised concern over the signing of the BELA Bill on Friday. It's questioning the bill's implication on sectors such as homeschooling and rural schools, as well as the mass amount of funding its implementation would need. The party has called on the president to reconsider and have the bill sent back to Parliament, saying if signed, it will undoubtedly be challenged in the Constitutional Court. The party has further commended parties in the GNU that have cried foul over the bill. The Democratic Alliance, at the same time, has warned that the signing of the bill would directly violate the letter and the spirit of the joint statement of intent of the GNU. Party leader John Steenhuisen has made a request to meet with the president before Friday to deliver his party's amendments to the bill and to request for it to be taken back to Parliament. Steenhuisen has stressed that if the ANC continues with this course of action, it will only diminish the good faith built around the GNU. The party has further requested the establishment of a dispute resolution mechanism that would ensure the letter of intent is upheld and no unilateral action could be taken by a single party within the government of the national unity. All right, for more on this, let's now welcome DA National Spokesperson Willie Aucamp. Mr. Aucamp, thank you so much for your time. You are calling this move to sign the bill into law a threat to the GNU. We understand, of course, that John Steenhuisen has now moved urgently to ask to meet President Ramaphosa. Just talk to us about what your contention is here, and also was the DA caught off guard by this announcement to have the bill signed into law on Friday?
Good afternoon. The DA was not caught off guard. We knew that at some stage there must be a decision that must be taken regarding the BELA Bill. We have just the whole time been under the impression that the president will take into consideration what happened when we decided to join the national government of national unity. We are now in a GNU, and from the Democratic Alliance side, we made it clear from day one that we do have problems with the BELA Bill, not only with the bill, but with the constitutionality of this bill. Earlier on, it was said that the president can only refer it back if he's got problems with the constitutionality. The DA, as well as many civic organizations, has, during the deliberations on this bill, shown where there are problems with regards to constitutionality. And we believe that it would be in the interest of everybody involved if the president sent this bill back to the National Assembly. So we knew that the decision had to be made, but we thought that the president will listen to his partners in the GNU, and we hope that the conversation that the Democratic Alliance's leader, John Steenhuisen, will have with the president will persuade him to listen to what the Democratic Alliance and other parties have told him, and to refer this back to the National Assembly due to the constitutional problems that we foresee might be there inside this bill.
When you consider, of course, what the presidency is saying just about Cyril Ramaphosa's constitutional mandate, and also the reasons behind why this bill is then moving ahead into law, essentially saying that the BELA Bill amends sections of the South African Schools Act of 96 and the Employment of Educators Act of 98 to account for developments in the education landscape since the enactment, of course, of the original legislation. So take us then into your confidence in terms of what exactly are you, as the DA, is opposing about the BELA Bill in its current form?
The best way for a community to be run or governed is by that community itself. We cannot have a situation where a centralized government or a province makes decisions for a community and a school in a specific community. That school and school governing body by far knows the best way how to deal with matters of that school. If you look at language policies, it is the parents of the children in a school that will know far better than a provincial government sitting at a provincial head office or a national government. It needs to be decided upon in consultation with school governing bodies. Now, what this law says is that school governing bodies will be consulted after consultation, and that should not happen. School governing bodies must form part of the decision-making in their schools. So in consultation with, instead of after consultation, is one of the key words that we have got here. Then there's also the homeschooling system that is not being consulted properly. There's several issues, but and this is the thing, the issues that the Democratic Alliance has got with this bill can easily be sorted out if this bill is referred back to the National Assembly. And should it not be done, the Democratic Alliance will obviously take all the legal routes available to us to get this bill declared unconstitutional. We will do that. But it would not be nice to litigate against a partner in the government of national unity. And therefore, we feel that the president much rather should send this back to the National Assembly to revisit the whole bill and to make the changes. And then I believe that all the parties in the GNU will agree to this bill.
Just staying with the GNU, should the signing go ahead on Friday, what will you as a DA do as it relates to the government of national unity? I mean, is this a deal breaker for you, especially when you consider how you've indicated that the signing will directly violate the letter and the spirit of the joint statement of intent of the GNU that you signed earlier this year?
The signing will definitely be contra the spirit and the letter of what was agreed upon. So let's have no doubt about that. But the DA will be the mature people in the room. We cannot, nobody can afford for this government of national unity to fall. The alternative of the current government of national unity will be a government between the ANC, MK, and the EFF, and we all know that that would be disastrous. But it's correctly then, therefore, a reason why the president must also, from his side, do everything in his power to protect this government of national unity. He knew from the start that the DA is opposed to this bill. We have also from the start asked that a conflict resolution mechanism must be put in place to handle issues where there might be disputes or conflicts. That has not happened. So we hope that the conversation that Mr. John Steenhuisen will have with the president will persuade him otherwise. But apart from that, the president does have time. He can form a conflict resolution mechanism within the GNU to see whether we can iron these conflicts or these issues that we've got out with this. And as a GNU, with the emphasis on U of unity, as a unit, then send this bill back to the National Assembly via the president.
When you look at the modalities of the GNU, you speak, of course, of the parties having agreed to form a GNU consultations council. And then, of course, when you consider that you have further requested that the establishment of a dispute resolution mechanism that would ensure the letter of intent is upheld and no unilateral action could be taken by a single party within the GNU, as you are currently describing this move, one then wonders what then within the modalities of this statement of intent is not working.
I think it's very important to firstly say that when the GNU was formed, all the parties there knew that we will not all of a sudden agree on everything. We knew that there will be disagreements. And that is why there was agreed that a dispute resolution mechanism will be instituted. So I think it has not been required yet. So now is the first test for the GNU to establish this dispute resolution committee or mechanism, and then see what this dispute resolution mechanism can sort out with regards to getting things resolved.
Mr. Aucamp, I hope you're still there. As we wrap our conversation very quickly, has the president, responded to John Steenhuisen's request to see him?
As far as I'm aware, there will be a meeting between the president and Mr. Steenhuisen. I believe that there might be other party leaders there as well. I'm not sure, but there will be a meeting, and hopefully we can have a positive outcome out of that meeting. All the parties there must realize that nobody can jeopardize this government of national unity. And again, we believe that the president is now, with his actions, really threatening the GNU. But we've got to work together. We've got to respect each other. And should there be a dispute resolution mechanism, we can iron out the problems that we've got there. Hopefully we can, and then the president can send this bill back. this bill can serve again before the president after the alterations have been made that will be in the best interest of the children in the schools of South Africa.
And of course, we are mindful of time. It is Wednesday, and that signing is due to go ahead on Friday. But thank you so much for your time. We'll have to monitor the story then as it goes ahead. The DA's national spokesperson there, Willie Aucamp, there for us.